Spencer Marker, and today's project is we're going to build an outdoor house for a feral cat that's been hanging around our house. We've really grown attached to him, want him to be comfortable in the winter because he can't come inside the house. Started out by rounding up all the lumber that I had left over around the house. That's what I'm going to try and use. I did buy 4 2x2x8 sections of wood that I'm going to use to frame out the walls. So far, I've cut out the base. What I'm doing now is I'm going to put 3 strips to elevate it off the ground to keep it up out of the water. And I'm going to start with that. Over here, I've got all the dimensions for the wall, so I'll frame that out. That's going to be the next thing. I'll see you when I'm done. Okay, I've got the boards all cut. I've got them glued and clamped into place. I've measured off the distances, so I'll flip it over. I'm going to use 1 1/4" drywall screws. That should get me through the 3/4 inch base and at least a 1/2 inch into the skids. And that's the next step. Then we'll have the floor built and the walls go up. Probably went a little overboard on the screws, but simply transposed the lines from the front to the back. And I put 5 screws in each runner. Probably didn't need to do that, but I believe in overbuilding, and I got the screws for free. So I've already cut the pieces for the walls, so I'm going to go ahead and just assemble those walls, give the glue a little chance to dry, take the clamps off, and then I'll fasten the walls. Okay, I built the 2 side walls, and I've cut the pieces for the front and the back. I'm going to take and I've screwed them together with 2 1/2 inch drywall screws. And go ahead and lay glue down the side, clamp the sides on, screw them into place, and then I'm going to screw them in from the bottom so that it goes up into it, and then turn around and put the front and the back on. Everything clamped and glued into place. I'm going to flip it over, put the screws in from the underside so that they're not poking up and creating an issue, and then we move on. Well, here we go. What I'll do is right on the right side in the front, I've got the basic framing done. I'm going to rough in a 9x7 door there on the right side, and then I'm going to put a window on the left that's just to let light in so the cat can look out and make sure there's no enemies, give him a little feeling of safety. Going to put another one on this left side over here as well towards this corner, just because of where we're going to put this. It'll allow him to see around the corner. And then going to put an escape hatch in the back with a little ledge that he can leap on and leap out, just so he has a feeling of security. Okay, we're moving right along. Got the doorway cut in, got a matching window on the other side. Just waiting for that glue to set. I'm going to add another window on this side so the cat can have view from and feel safety secure. Still trying to decide where to put the second exit hole. I'll have that figured out shortly. Okay, we're getting the trusses on today. I anguished over that all night as to how to do it. And in the end, I did a cardboard cutout, traced it on traced it on the lumber, and then cut it out. That's the first one. I'll go ahead and I've got the others cut out. I'll put them together. Then we'll get the top portion on this. After that, we'll do the doors and the windows, and then it's ready for the outside. Okay, we've got 2 sides on. Seems like the plan's working as it should. Just simply laid it down on top of there, cut around it. I did need a jigsaw to cut the one window hole out. We'll go back and do the front and the back sides next. Looks like we got enough plywood. It's going along well. Okay, basically we've got everything just put together with 1 screw per board. Just seeing how it goes. Next, I'm going to fasten it all back permanently. I'm not going to glue the panels on the front because if I want to take it back apart. I am, however, once they're in place, going to caulk them to prevent airflow. Then we'll work on the roof. Okay, before we screw the sides in, I need to go ahead and put the windows in. That's what I'll be working on right now. It's enough to have a piece of thin plastic. It's about an 1/8 inch thick. That's what I'm going to make the windows out of. I'm going to cut out a square. I want the ability to remove the outside, so I'm simply, like in this window hole, it's going to overlap by 1/2 inch all the way around, and I'm going to put it in with a dab of caulk, and then screw the top part on. I'll do the same on this window, although I should have done that before I screwed it in. So I'll unscrew it and redo it. Okay, we've got the windows in. They were all framed out, if you remember before. Just took a piece of 1/8 inch plastic that I cut. This was actually scrap that I had around the garage. So the windows are in. Now I'll fasten all the walls in permanently. And as I said earlier, I'm not going to glue them just because I want to be able to take them off earlier. I'm just going to put them all in with screws. Okay, we've got the windows in. See, looks good. Okay, gonna caulk it now inside, and as I said, I'm not gluing the outside panels in. I want to be able to remove them. I think caulk will keep some of the breeze out, and then I'll put the inside insulation in. Then we'll work on the top. Okay, we've got it all caulked, and I know it looks like I caulked it with toothpaste, but it's just a thick joint in there. All caulked, windows in, ready to pop the insulation in, and then it is the roof. Okay, if you remember, we traced out all of the insulation, and now I'm just cutting it and popping it right into place. You can see back in the garage where I'm working on that board. We got the last of the insulation in. That was quick. Just tucked in, it's all caulked behind it. Next step is I tape it. I'm going to put some chloroplast board over this to make it all tight on the inside. But first I'm going to do the roof. Now we're working on the roof. I've got one side in. Little pocket, as you remember, I had that piece. I just set it in. I cut the boards to size. Got a little adjustment to make on it, but there we go. That's the back. Got its escape hatch up on top. So once we get that roof on, next thing we'll do the 2 eaves, and then the basic construction is done. It'll be down to painting it and roofing it at that point. I will line the inside with melamine, which is basically the stuff you see those builder signs and those temporary signs made out of. Okay, I've got the roof on. Next time I'm going to do the gables, I'm going to use the same template I used to actually put the roof together to cut the gables out. So hopefully it won't take but a few minutes to do. Okay, we've got the eaves in. One more trip to Home Depot to get the pieces I need for the trim. Get that trim in. I hope to get that this afternoon. Okay, got it all together. Roof done, gables in. Now it's time to put the outside trim on. Normally I would go ahead and give it a couple coats first, but I think it's easy enough. I'm going to do it the way it is now. But, cutting it up. Okay. We've got all the trim around the openings. Got the glass in the window. It's not glass, it's 1/8 inch plexiglass. Same with this one. Got the escape hatch in. Got all the insulation on the inside. Got it over here in the lid. Now we're gonna caulk it up. Get ready for painting. Okay, got it all caulked. Use some plastic wood to cover the majority of the screws. A couple of them didn't get covered and were stripped, so I couldn't get them in. But got it all caulked. Got it all insulated. Tomorrow's paint. Okay, we've got all the trim on. We've got the inside all sealed up. We are, it's time to start the painting. I'm going to start off giving it at least one coat, if not two coats of Kilz, and then we'll get the color on. Okay, we've got 2 coats of oil-based Kilz on the top of that and on the main body. I'll put a 3rd coat on all the trim, and next comes gray. Then we're done. Okay, we're putting the final touches on now. The gray and the white. Almost done. Okay, we'll be done today. Putting on a nice black shingle. Goes with the gray facade. There we are. Already got one side done. And that'll be the last thing. Inside, I'll take you in from the top. You can see we've got a nice heated pad on top of a nice little bed. So if I can get him to go in there, I think he'll stay. Well, there we have the completed project. It's got a heated pad on top of a heated outdoor pad. Got a window in the front. In addition to the door, window on the side with plexiglass. Here's where the heated blanket, or the heated pad comes out. Got a back door up high, escape pad for him. Last thing to do is to put the, the little flapper on it, but I'm not going to do that till after he's used to going in and out. Lid's removable. We'll see how it does. Gonna try and entice him in there tonight.